Okay, welcome back. Now, moving on, we're going to look at converting our variables to factors now. But before we go ahead, I want us to look at the cheat sheet that is available online on our studio website. So it's on the forcats package. So here we have listed the functions available within the package that can help us with changing the order of levels, changing the values of the levels. So inspecting our level, our factors, combining the factors, adding and dropping our factors, the levels within our factors actually. So we're going to look at most of these functions, but not all of them. So let's go back to our studio. So now I want to convert the comedian variable within the view by comedian table. So I want to convert that. So I'll pass in the table. So I'm passing that to the mutate function. So we need to call the comedian variable, then we'll assign comedian that's going to be passed to the as underscore factor. So this is going to help us to change it back to the factor variable. So I'll run that now. So now let's visualize this again to see the difference. So we're running that. So now let me zoom out and you'll see what we have on the screen now. So now you can see we don't have the dots scattered all over the plot. Now it's been arranged from the least to the highest. So this is from the least, that's okay, Bakassi to Clint, which has the highest. That's the highest now is at the bottom of the plot. So now it's possible for us to reverse this. So we're going to create a new table that's going to help us achieve that. So I'll go back to our studio interface. So now, let's just examine some of the functions that we can use on our variable, that's the factor, quickly. So we can use the str to look at the structure of the variable. So I'm going to call the comedian. So I'll pass that in, then run it. So we can now see that we have it's a factor and we have 13 levels there. The first level is clean the drunk, which has a value 1. We know factors are the various values within a factor are stored within R as integers. So that's what we're having that there. So another thing we can look at is looking at bringing out the levels. So we can use the function levels. I'll go for, so I'll call the variable again. So now we have all the various levels within the factor comedian. So another thing is we want to get out the number of levels there. So we can use n levels. So the same thing, passing the variable $comedian. So this returns back the value representing the number of levels that we have. So that's 13. So now let's move on. So now I want to look at reversing the display of the plot, the various values corresponding to each of the factors. So we want to move it from the least to the highest, now going back to the highest to the least. So we're going to use fct underscore rev. So I'm going to create a new table. So the difference will be that I'm going to attach the name of the function to it. So I'll assign that to view. So we're going to take this, type that into mutate function. So I'm calling the comedian variable now. So I'll assign that to a comedian variable that is going to be reversed now. So control. So I'm going to add underscore factor. So piping that into that will be fct underscore rev. So now let's run this line, and that will be control enter. So let's visualize this. So take the table and pipe it into the visualize function. So you can see, let's zoom out, let's zoom. So let me share the screen. Okay, now we can see, now we have the first one, the first level is being displayed first, that with the highest number of viewers that reviewed is rating. So that will be Clint the Drunk, it's now up, while Okay Bakassi is down completely at the base now. So it's from the highest now to the lowest. Okay, now we'll go back to the R Studio screen. So now, so there are ways that we can extract the values from the table. So go ahead and look at visualize. So we want to call the table the last one that we used. So piping that into another mutate function. So now I want to create a label. So label is going to be like comedian. Pipe that to as dot character. So the label is a character type. So we can extract that from the factor variable by using the as dot character. So for the value of each of the levels, we'll get that by piping the variable into the function as dot numeric. So let's run this to see the various values that we're having. So good. So now we have the values for each of the levels now written out for us. Is in double, so that's integer, so the label is character type. So moving on. So for factors, we can count each of unique values, that just like we don't have to arrange using the arrange function here. We can count the occurrence of each of the levels before converting to maybe reversing the order or using them at all. We can use the fct underscore count to get that out. So now we're going to create a new table. So I'm going to attach the function to it. Fct underscore count. So that will be coming down, comedy. So this one, I don't want to aggregate or group by anything here. So I want to create a fresh table. So mutate. So I'm going to call on the comedian. So I'm assigning that to the comedian variable and piping it into the function as underscore factor. So let's run this. So now I want to use the function fct underscore counts to count the unique occurrences of each of the levels. So that will be alpha, that will be for median. So let's run this. So now you can see it gave us the sum of all the occurrence of each of the various levels that we have. So you can see it's the same thing as summing up the number of occurrences that we did before. So instead of doing that, we can use this. So now we have a table returned to us. So this can be assigned back to the new table that we created now. So I can assign that and control enter. So if we view this, we'll have a similar table as what we had before. We cannot decide to change the names of the variables as we so please. So that's that. So we'll go ahead and look